Honorable Minister, it is based on this background that I now ask the following questions. Can this be business unusual to spend millions of taxpayers' money on training and testing on pilots for 13 years with no improvement and without any accountability? Number two, how many initial trainings does one pilot need to be competent on the type that I have mentioned? What is the selection process of the pilots at Air Support Service Directorate and the plan going forward? Number three, why can't they employ competent and passionate pilots who are committed to actually fly the EC-145 and have these pilots that are struggling to fly the Airbus, rather the AS-350 helicopter, the B-3 helicopter, which is a simpler helicopter? And lastly, Honorable Minister, I asked previously on the availability of the helicopter. I am still receiving calls from stakeholders about their unavailability. What do the pilots do at work that prevents them from flying? I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Member, thank you for the questions. Honorable Amkoto. Honorable Amkoto.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and the compliment for the new year. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 12th of February 2026, I shall ask the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Honorable Sangwasa, James Sangwasa, the following questions. Honorable Speaker, the power of pairs in Namibia rests in Parliament. Once this House debate, approves and passes the appropriation bill, and it is accepted to by the President, it becomes an act of Parliament. That act is binding and cannot be changed or reduced or redirected by any individual office or ministry except by the Parliament itself. However, it has now become evident that allocation approved by the Parliament for local authority and the regional council are being reduced or diverted at the ministerial level after the law has already taken effect. This raises a serious constitutional question about whether the executive is undermining the authority of Parliament and interfering with an act of Parliament. Therefore, I ask the Honourable Minister the following question. Under what legal authority does the Ministry reduce or divert funds that were duly approved by the Parliament and asserted to by the President under the Appropriation Act? Did the Honourable Minister at any point return to Parliament to seek approval before changing or diverting this allocation, as required when uttering a law passed by this House? Does the Honourable Minister accept that Parliament-approved budget based on the needs of the community and the people on the ground? And if the Ministry then reduce or withhold those approval funds, is the Ministry still acting in the interest of the people or in the interest of its own administrative preference at the expenses of service delivery? Will the Honourable Minister commit to tabling before this August House full record of all instances where allocation approved by the Parliament were reduced, withheld, or redirected by the Ministry? Honourable Speaker, this matter is not about accounting, it is about whether the decision of Parliament can be quietly changed after they become law, and whether local authority and the community must suffer because of action that bypass the authority of this August House. I so submit.
Thank you. Honourable Member may now table your questions. Honourable Mbundu.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable members, I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 12th of February 2026, I shall ask the Minister of Education, Art and Culture, Honourable Dr. Sanet Steenkamp, the following. Arise to seek clarity from the Honourable Minister of Education regarding to the recurring closing of school due to the flooding In the previous year, including last year and the year before, over 300 schools were forced to close by a whirling period as a result of floods. This closure disturbed learning, affect teachers' performance, and compromise curriculum coverage. With the current rain season underway and the risk of flooding remaining high, there is a growing concern that similar disruptions may occur again this year. The purpose of this question is to understand what concrete measures that the ministry has put in place to prevent or to minimize school closure and to ensure continuity of learning should flooding occur again. Question. Honorable Minister, what specific preventative and preparedness measures has the ministry put in place this year to arrest the recurring closure of school in the flood-prone area, given the likelihood of floods returning? Question 2. If the schools are forced to close due to flooding, what concrete contingency plan does the ministry have to ensure continuity of learning and to minimize the negative impact of learners' performance and teachers' productivity? 3. What long-term infrastructure or policy intervention is the ministry implementing to ensure these schools in flood-prone regions are no longer repeatedly disturbed by seasonal flooding? I so submit.
Honorable member may please table the questions. Honorable Nashinge.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Good afternoon. Welcome back to all of us to the House of the People. Honorable Speaker, I know questions are a bit of a problem on the other side of the aisle, but we are going to deal with the question as much as we can. Honorable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 12th of February, I shall ask the Right Honorable Prime Minister the following. Honorable Prime Minister, the Welwitschia Sovereign Wealth Fund was launched in May 2022 to safeguard our nation's future and now holds nearly $500 million Namibian dollars in public funds, we are told. However, it has been operating for over 3 years now without specific law governing its management, oversight, and use of funds. I therefore ask the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Tateguchi Tunga, the following. What is the exact timeline for the Welwitschia Sovereign Wealth Fund bill to be tabled in this House, and can the government commit to a definitive date its passage before the end of this parliamentary session, or it's not a priority? Under which specific existing laws or legal provision is the fund currently being administered, and how does the government justify operating a major sovereign wealth fund without dedicated legal framework for such a prolonged period? Third and last, given the calls from institutions like Institute for Public Policy Research for inclusive dialogue, what concrete steps is the government taking to ensure the bill includes robust provision for public transparency, parliamentary oversight, and protection from misuse to gain the full confidence of the Namibian people? I so submit.
Honorable member may table the question. Honorable Klute.
Honorable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on the 12th of February 2026, I will ask the Honorable Minister of International Relations and Trade the following. Namibia's diplomatic missions are crucial for fostering economic ties, particularly in agricultural trade with West African partners, where collaborations on beef exports, mechanization, and fertilizer production initiatives announced since 2023 have encountered implementation challenges and international concerns. Prolonged vacancies in key posts can hinder these efforts, especially amid reports of informal diplomatic efforts during recent ministerial travels to the region. Recent appointments have highlighted the importance of strict adherence to international protocols, including the Vienna Conventions on Diplomatic Relations, which mandates prior agreement from receiving states to ensure effective representation and mutual trust. In the context of ongoing anti-corruption oversight in the related sectors, transparency in the process is vital to protect Namibia's international reputation and sustain beneficial trade opportunities for our citizens. So I ask, which of Namibia's foreign missions are currently without a substantive head of mission, and for how long has each such vacancy existed? What is the current status of Namibia's High Commission in Accra, Ghana? Specifically, is a substantive High Commissioner in post? If not, who is serving as charge d'affaires? And when does the ministry expect a substantive head of mission to assume duty? Can the minister confirm or deny that she undertook a stopover in Ghana during her recent travels? And if so, on what dates and for what official purpose? If such stopover took place, did the minister meet with officials of Ghana's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration? And if so, were matters relating to the accreditation of Namibia's High Commissioner designate to Ghana discussed? Has the government of Ghana, through any diplomatic channel, communicated concerns or objections regarding the proposed appointment of Namibia's High Commissioner designate to that country? And if so, will the minister inform this House of the nature of those concerns? Thank you. I so support.
The member may table the question. Honorable Fries.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, 12 February 2026, I shall ask the Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, Honorable Lucia Ipumbu, the following. I wish to bring to the fore a matter of serious national concern, which is the alleged compromise of certain members of the Namibian Police Force in relation to drug abuse and drug trafficking. Reports and arrests linked to drug-related offences in towns such as Rehoboth, Mariental, Wolfish Bay, Swakopmund, Toshakati, Rundu, Katima Mulilo, Mariental and Windhoek have raised serious questions about the integrity of some officers entrusted with enforcing our laws. At a time when communities, especially the youth, are suffering from the devastating effects of drug abuse, any involvement or protection of criminal drug networks by law enforcement officers represents a direct threat to the public trust, national security and the rule of law. I therefore wish to ask the Honourable Minister the following. What is the current number of police officers who have been investigated, arrested, suspended or dismissed in the past 5 years in connection with drug abuse or drug trafficking across Namibia? 2. How many cases involving compromised police officers have resulted in successful prosecutions, and what steps are being taken to address delays or failures in these cases? What internal vetting, lifestyle audits and integrity testing mechanisms are in place to detect police officers whose lifestyles are inconsistent with their income? Is there active cooperation between the Namibian police, customs, immigration and anti-corruption agencies to dismantle drug networks allegedly protected by law enforcement officers? And lastly, what reforms are being implemented to restore public confidence in the Namibian police, particularly in communities most affected by drug abuse? I so submit, Honourable Speaker.
Please table the questions. Honorable Thomas.
Thank you very much. Compliment for everyone here in the House. Welcome. Honorable Speaker, I hereby give a notice on February 10, 2026. I shall ask Honorable Selma Aspala Mshavi Minister of International Relations and Trade the following. Namibia is now a home of 54 Japanese companies.
Order, honorable members.
Namibia is now a home of 54 Japanese companies. The Namibian people have noticed that during a higher level discussion in Tokyo, Japan, according to the government, the increasing economic link between Namibia and Japan are reflected in this presence. Under the direction of the government, the bilateral aim to match Japanese investment with Namibia's present national goal. We noted that Namibia and Japanese relationship now focus on economic commerce, investment, and a long-term partnership rather than just traditional development assistance. The country youth employment rate for those between the 15 and 34 is approximately 61.4% unemployed. According to data from the Namibian Statistics Agencies, a shock point, 1.6 million Namibians are living in poverty, which is a major issue for Namibia. We understand that encouraging 54 Japanese companies to spend more on manufacturing and processing in Namibia. I want to avoid that this must not only a political score, but mere talk. My question, Honorable Minister, what kind of employment and the training will these 54 companies provide for Namibia? What do they manufacturing here? Where will they use these assets for marketing once the product is finished? From which town do they operate? How many?
Honorable, your time is up. No, honorable member? Yes. Okay, table the question. Yeah. Honorable members, so the questions that will be answered are the ones that you read out. Ne? If there are some questions, you may take your seat. If there are some questions left, it's better that you just amend your questions and you summarize so that you can ask all your questions tomorrow. Because otherwise we will only have record the ones that have been read out. Yes. Which rule is what? No, because I don't know what is on there. I don't know whether there are some other questions that are not read out. Yeah, so, Honorable, yes, please. On what point?
I have done.
Yeah, okay, Honorable.
Yes.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say to the Honorable member is, it's not possible that a member would rise and read a document and something which that member has not read and is not captured in the Hansard, we are going to capture on the Hansard. So we are going to follow there. So if there is important information that you have not read out, the best option would be for you to reformulate. Otherwise, if there is nothing important, it's okay. We will end where you ended. Please, Secretariat, take note of that. Now we proceed. Honorable Venani.
Honorable Speaker, urgent oral question.
Oh, okay, let's go to the next person first. Yeah, the rules say, if possible, the presiding officer. Okay. Honorable Karonda.
Thank you, Speaker. Also an urgent oral one.
Okay, then we go to the next one. Honorable Mbinge.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, 12 February 2026, I shall ask the Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, Honorable Lucia Ipumbu, the following. I wish to address a matter of urgent public concern regarding the unlawful use of police-used firearms, especially in cases where male police officers have fatally shot their romantic partners. These tragic incidents, which continue to happen in different parts of Namibia, raise serious concern and questions about firearms control, off-duty weapon positions, emotional fitness for duty, and enforcement of existing police regulations. I therefore wish to ask the Honourable Minister the following questions. Honourable Minister, are you aware that the firearms used by the Namibian police during gender-based violence incidents are the official firearms given to them during office hours? Can the Honourable Minister confirm whether the police regulations requiring officers to book in firearms when off duty are consistently enforced, and how many officers are currently authorized to keep firearms while off duty? In cases where police officers were authorized to take firearms home, were risk assessment conducted, and who bears the responsibility when such authorizations result in loss of life? Does the ministry acknowledge a correlation between gender-based violence and access to service firearms? And what specific safeguards exist to prevent police-issued weapons from being used in domestic disputes? In conclusion, when a police officer is reported for domestic violence, threats, or emotional instability, what mandatory processes are in place to temporarily withdraw their firearms, and is this process enforced? I so submit, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Member may take the question. Yes, thank you. Now we go to the request by the three honourable members for urgent oral questions and opportunity. Now the members should kindly please give the gist of the urgent oral question. Honourable Hengari was the first to ask for the floor.
Right Honourable Speaker. Yes. The gist of my question is, I don't know how to gist, but I can tell you it's about youth unemployment, and it's directed to the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Okay. I just want to say, honourable members, today I'm not going to take all of the questions before answers are provided. We will receive the question, we will get an answer. Please note that we have only 20 minutes for all urgent oral questions. Therefore, I will give not more than 1.5 minute for each urgent oral question, if it's urgent. Yes, otherwise all three will not fit.
It's not in the rule.
Because, yes, all three will not fit. It is a discretion of the Speaker. The rule says the Speaker may,
But a minute is not enough.
Are you now arguing?
A minute
The Speaker may. Honourable member, we are wasting the time of the honourable member, but what I wanted to say is, yes, you can take your seat. What I would like to say is, the presiding officer may allow urgent oral, may, not must. So the presiding officer can actually say, no, there will be no urgent oral question. Yes, yes. May means that. Then why does we have may? Yeah, so that's why we hear the gist of the question.
Thank you very much.
Unemployment, it has to be unanticipated. It cannot wait for when the questions are supposed to be answered.
Yes, it's a very, very urgent question. Right Honourable Speaker.
Yeah, no, Honourable, I have first given the floor to her. Let her pose her question.
All right, thank you very much. Right Honourable Prime Minister, I have in my possession here about close to 30 pages.
Set the time, Secretariat.
I don't
Wait,
understand.
no, the Secretariat is set the
All
time.
right. I have in my possession, Right Honourable Prime Minister, a report by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Human Resources and Community Development on the motion on youth unemployment crisis in Namibia. I want to ask the Honourable Prime Minister, this motion was brought by myself, yours truly, in 2021. It was adopted by this House, and therefore a resolution of this House, including the recommendations and made in this report. I want to ask Right Honourable Prime Minister, to what extent is your administration and the government of the day committed to ensuring the implementation of this report? And when will this administration bring a report to this House on how far they have gone in implementing the recommendations made in this report? Honourable Speaker, if my time is not
Madam Speaker.
Yeah, something is happening with the clock, but Right Honourable Speaker, I'm not just asking with regards, I am a Tochman.
Go on, Honourable Member. Please deal with the clock.
I'm just not asking with regards to the youth unemployment crisis alone. A number of motions have been brought to this House, adopted on the floor of this House. Resolutions were made on the floor of this House. And by this House, whether it's the 7th Parliament or the 8th Parliament, I believe it's the same Parliament of the Republic of Namibia. To what extent is this administration committed to ensuring that these recommendations are implemented? And when will the Right Honourable Prime Minister bring a comprehensive report on the steps taken to implement those very reports? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I would like to say that the rules make a provision for heads of executive institutions to bring feedback on the implementation of resolutions passed by the Assembly, and for queries to be raised when such feedback has not been provided. I don't think that we can address that through urgent oral questions. Yeah, yes. No, there is a rule that provides a mechanism for dealing with that, and I would like to request that the Honourable Member, considering that this is a very, very important issue, it is not, no, it was not allowed. I was listening to the gist. Even if I allow the member to put the question can still be disallowed. Yes. So please, now, Honourable Benani, let's deal with it. It's an important issue. Let's deal with it procedurally. I see.
Welcome, honourable members to the House. 2 urgent questions.
No, 1. Honourable.
Why do you want to control?
Well,
I don't want to start the fights too early.
Honourable, please proceed with your question.
Speaker, OGT. 1 question only. Why? For 2 months, I must just only one. Okay, 1 question. I must say, Honourable Speaker, I want to ask a question to the Minister of Finance, Exchequer, and it is to do with that I want to know when will she make a ministerial statement and to clarify to this House on the losses of close to 800 million that was lost at JIPF. And we are also hearing that the Development Bank has written off a debt of close to 570 million. When will she appraise this House? The statuses of these losses and the writing off of these debts so that we know where to take the matter going forward.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Members. Very good afternoon. This is a fair question, and I will come with the statement as requested. As a submit. Thank you. Very soon.
Very good. So the statement will come. Now, Honourable Karonda.
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. I don't know how similar my question is to the one that was just posed, but mine is directed to the Prime Minister as the representative of the employer. SD? Yeah, Happy New Year, Honourable Prime Minister.
It's not allowed to come to Prime Minister.
I want to know, as an employer, what is government's position with regards to these missing millions of workers' pension money at JIPF? Have you had any urgent meetings with the JIPF in recent days? It's not the same. I'm dealing with you as an employer. He asked the Minister of Finance as the Minister of Finance.
Yeah. Okay, Honorable.
That is really the question.
That's an important question, but I think the question is covered under the question of Honorable Venani. That's first. Secondly, and most importantly, in terms of the rules, questions are to be posed to the ministers who are responsible, whose offices are responsible for the issues that are being queried. So the ministry that is responsible for oversight of pension fund, you know, is the Ministry of Finance that is responsible for NAMFISA, that is responsible for pension funds. So the Prime Minister, being a representative of employer, is not responsible for the safeguarding of the pension funds. So, but I think your question will be catered for. It's an important one.
But does he represent the employer, though?
No, not in overseeing the GIPF. Yeah. So, Honorable Kumbwa, Honorable Kumbwa.
Kumbwa. Kumbwa.
Kumbwa.
Yes.
Okay. Honorable Kumbwa.
Yes, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the floor, and welcome back to the Chamber 2026. Yeah, in town, I mean in the city, there is a square between Mandume Yandemfayo and Hosea Kutako. At the side, then John Maynard and Indongo Street. That square is long back, before independence it was there. It is used by public transport, basically Ndapuka Silas bus services, Oasis, and many other combis for public transport. Now the place, to my understanding, falls under municipality of Windu,
yes,
city
Honorable
of Windu,
Kumbu.
and the minister responsible also. Can I go ahead?
Okay, Honorable, can you please just give an indication of what your query is about?
My query is, that place is deserted. Almost 30 years.
Yeah.
There are no toilets, there is no water, and I don't see parliamentarians go to that place. I'm watching the place. Why do we not go there? Why are tourists not going there? Because the place is not conducive to be in city.
Yes,
So now, my plea is to the minister responsible to advise Honorable Sankwasa, my elder brother.
Honorable Kumbwa, I advise that you just put that question in writing. Yeah?
Honorable Speaker,
that's for the presiding officer.
The place is smelling, it needs urgent attention.
Yeah, Honorable.
When I put it in writing, it will take 6 months. And people are dedicating at the place.
Honorable.
It's very urgent. If one can go and check that place today, please.
Honorable member, you can put your question in writing so that it's understood in its proper context, and you raise all the issues that you want to raise. We take note, and I'm sure the minister is following.
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable
I
member,
understand what you are saying, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
You are not happy. I am very sorry that you are not happy, but you'll be happy when you get the answer. Yeah, kindly, please. I know that you are very cooperative. Let's proceed. Put your question in writing. And what I say, Honorable Member, take your seat. What I tell the members, can I just say this, Honorable Member? What I say to the members is this. If you see a question is either asked to get information or to highlight an issue that requires urgent attention, and the action to deal with an urgent issue is not deferred until the answer is provided. So the moment the issue is brought to the attention of the member will be able to intervene if there is an urgent action that is required. So, but in order for us to comply with the rules, please let us ask agent oral questions only where they fit the definition. Now, I think I overlooked Honorable Kandorodu. No, you didn't? Okay. Honorable April? No? Okay. So now, thank you, Honorable April. They are pulling your leg, it seems. Okay, now, Honorable April, we move to notices of motions. Notices of motions? None? Honorable Lucato, followed by Honorable Kumbwa. This is the list I have here, followed by Honorable Aufindi.
Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, and the leaders of all various political parties, good day
Can you set the...
Good day, and I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I hereby give notice that on Tuesday, 10 February 2026, this is a motion to make sure that we take care of our senior citizens, that this House discuss and agree the motion of establishment of restrooms at all stations in every Namibian town, including stations where there is premises of shelter, in order to establish the shelters and chairs for our Namibian nation. Restrooms are important aspect in our communities, and every Namibian deserves.
Must be 3 minutes.
You won't understand when Namibian deserves to ease themselves in respectable and a decent facility. Honorable Speaker, therefore, restrooms ought to be constructed at every station in order to treat all Namibian citizens and foreigners with humanity. This is also to make life easier to those working or serving at those stations. This includes stations that are premises for shelter and chairs. In addition, Honorable Speaker, social groups, including disabled persons, senior citizens, and the learners, should not pay for the use of restrooms facilities at the stations. These groups should make use of service free of charge. I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
No. I will look at the motion. If there is anything wrong with it, then I will pronounce myself. Yes, thank you, Honorable. Honorable Kumbwa. You see, I need to hear the members when they are presenting. Otherwise, I can't even say when they are out of order. So I need to hear. Yes, go on.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I rise in terms of Rule 123, Sub-Rule 1, Paragraph 8 of the Standing Rules and Orders and Internal Arrangement of the National Assembly to give notice that on Thursday, 5th of February 2026, I shall move that this Honorable House debates and determines whether social justice prevails in the Kavango regions in particular and in the Zambezi, Kunene, and Ohangwena regions, with specific reference to the matters underlined hereunder. 1. Equitable beneficiation from Namibia's natural resources and the just distribution of national wealth. In line with the spirit of promoting the welfare of Namibians, as ever said under Article 95 of the Namibian Constitution, which requires a state to adopt policies to raise and maintain acceptable living standards and ensure social benefits for the disadvantaged. 2. that there is just and fair representation in public institutions, including in the government system of the state, state ministries, agencies, commissions, directorates, and state-owned enterprises. 3, that this House recognizes the urgent need to prioritize inclusive economic development for the historically marginalized and underdeveloped regions, notably Kavango East, with a poverty index of approximately 70%, and Zambezi, Kunene, and Ohangwena, with poverty levels between 60% and 64%, compared to other regions whose poverty index range between 16% and 56%, according to UNICEF report of 2021. Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member, thank you. No, this is just a general point that I have to make. I'm very sorry that I interrupt you twice. But I can see, just one moment, if you can take your seat. Yeah, but I can see that the way the rules are written, they don't specifically indicate that this is the time for notice of a motion and this is the time for motivation of a motion. And what I can see is that the honorable members, especially the new MPs, motivate the issues at the time that, yeah, no, that is not to disrespect them. I'm just saying that maybe they are not familiar. Yeah, sometimes the members actually, yeah, okay, with that correction of Honorable Kanderodu. Yeah, during the notice of a motion, you don't motivate your motion, you just give notice. And when it's motivation time, you will get to motivate. Yeah, so Honorable Member, can you please just summarize? Then you will say all of the other important things that you want to say when you are motivating.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Despite what you just directed me, but I have the full swing motivation afterwards. Not today. I have the motivation.
Okay, can you conclude in 1 minute?
Thank you. Thank you for the floor again. Honorable Speaker, I further submit that the Namibians are too few to poor and it is therefore unacceptable. The statement of Her Excellency, the Head of State, the Tumondani Daitwa.
Yeah, no, Honorable Member, that's a motivation.
I quote.
No, that's a motivation, Honorable Member.
Namibians are too few to be poor.
No,
in the same vein, a senior leader.
1 minute.
A senior leader in 2015, during an election campaign, clearly signaled a political commitment to wage a war against poverty. I must underscore that the call by head of state is not merely theoretical.
Honorable Member, that is a motivation. That's not notice. Yeah, Honorable Member, that's a motivation. It's a motivation. It's enough for you to give notice, and then you motivate.
Can I conclude?
Yeah.
Therefore,
you have
move that this motion be referred to the relevant inter alia parliamentary standing committee for comprehensive inquiry and analysis and report back to the House. I so submit.
Honorable Member may table the notice. Thank you. Honorable Aupindi.
Honorable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on Wednesday, February 11th, 2026, I shall move the following motions for debate in this House. The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication facilitates international money transfers and other financial transactions by providing a standardized messaging system using unique codes to identify banks and their locations. Mindful that the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication as a financial infrastructure in recent years has transcended its traditional role as a neutral facilitator of commerce to become an instrument of statecraft. Convinced that by controlling global payment systems like SWIFT and other major currency networks, some states use financial sanctions as a form of foreign policy and weaponization. Cognizance that by only relying on one system, SWIFT, alone is risky for the Namibian economy going forward. I will ask the National Assembly must act to protect Namibia's economy by discussing various alternatives, interbank financial systems that are currently in use globally to secure a reliable transmission instruction for money transfer. I would further ask that this motion will be referred to a standing committee for research in order to make a specific recommendation on the suitable system to be used alongside
members, you can draw speakers' attention to an issue, but you don't compel the speaker to act in accordance with your suggestion. So like I said, thank you, Honorable. Now, Honorable Aupindi, thank you very much. He tried to be brief, but I also have to say, although he was very efficient, Honorable Aupindi must wait for the presiding officer to give him the floor and also to invite him to table. But that was on a positive note. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you. Now we proceed to messages from the head of state. Ministerial statements? None. Then order paper. Today is what? Now we go to the first order, the first notice. We passed that one. So now we are on order paper, and the first notice of a motion is the one of the Honorable Minister of Industries, Mines and Energy. Does the Honorable Minister move that the bill be now introduced?
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
The Secretary will now read the bill. No. Is there any objection? Or who seconds the motion? Sorry, we are just coming. Back from break. Okay. Is there any objection? Okay, then it is agreed to. Will the Honorable Minister table the bill? The Honorable Minister table the bill?
Yes. Yes, I will table.
The Secretary. The Secretary will now read the bill a first time. Read the bill a first time, Secretary.
Petroleum Exploration and Production Amendment Bill.
Does the Honorable Minister of Industries, Mines and Energy move that the bill now be read a second time?
I so move, Honorable Speaker.
Any objection? Who seconds? Agreed to. The Honorable Minister has the floor to motivate.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this august House, I rise to table before this House the Petroleum Exploration and Production Amendment Bill of 2025 for consideration by this august House. This bill is of strategic importance to the management and governance of Namibia's petroleum resources. Honorable Speaker, Namibia stands at a transformative moment
in its economic and energy journey. The recent world-class oil discoveries in our offshore basins have positioned our country as an emerging energy hub on the African continent. This moment calls for a robust, modern, and transparent legal framework that can guide our upstream petroleum sector responsibly and efficiently. The bill before you seeks to modernize and strengthen the existing Petroleum, that's the Exploration and Production Act of 1991. Its primary objective is to enhance institutional capacity, ensure regulatory clarity, and align our governance structures with international best practices while maintaining full accountability to Parliament and the Namibian people. In this regard, Honorable Speaker, the bill seeks, number one, for the establishment of the upstream petroleum unit. The amendment establishes the upstream petroleum unit, which is a new regulatory authority to be housed in the Office of the President. This unit will be headed by a Director General and a Deputy Director General who will be responsible for directing, managing, and supervising all upstream petroleum operations in Namibia. This reform ensures that our technical, regulatory, and compliance functions are brought under a single professional institution, one that is capable of responding to the demands of a fast-growing petroleum industry with efficiency and expertise. Two, streamlined technical oversight and regulatory clarity. Under this framework, the Director General becomes the principal regulator responsible for licensing, compliance, and oversight of petroleum activities, while the Deputy Director General manages the daily technical functions, supervises staff and inspectors, and ensures that operations conform to national standards and international norms. This structure establishes clear lines of authority, improves coordination, and enables faster, evidence-based decision-making in technical matters. Number three, transparency and parliamentary reporting. The bill introduces new measures to strengthen fiscal transparency and accountability. It requires that all remissions, deferrals, or refunds of petroleum royalties be reported annually to the National Assembly by 30 June every year through a designated minister or the Prime Minister. This provision, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, this provision ensures that Parliament remains fully informed about the management of petroleum revenues and that the executive branch remains accountable for every concession granted under the law. Number four, ethical conduct and disclosure of interest. The bill also reinforces ethical governance. It expands the conflict of interest provisions to cover inspectors and staff of the upstream petroleum unit with strict penalties for breaches. Furthermore, senior officials, including the Director General and Deputy Director General, are required to disclose their assets and interests to the President to safeguard the integrity of public office. These measures strengthen public confidence
and uphold the principles of integrity and transparency in our petroleum administration. And 5, modernization of the legal framework. Honorable Speaker, this amendment updates the 1991 Act to reflect contemporary realities. It replaces outdated terminologies, repeals the former role of the Commissioner for Petroleum Affairs, and transfers the relevant powers and functions to the new upstream petroleum unit. It also enhances coordination between the Presidency, the Ministry of Finance, and other relevant portfolios, ensuring that fiscal, environmental, and technical aspects of petroleum management are aligned under one coherent governance structure. And number 6, transitional and continuity provisions. The bill provides that all existing licenses, agreements, and approvals remain valid until the new structure. Ongoing applications will continue seamlessly under the authority of the upstream petroleum unit. This guarantees regulatory continuity, protects investor confidence, and ensures a smooth transition from the old system to the new one. Honorable members, the Petroleum Amendment Bill of 2025 represents a decisive move towards a more effective, transparent, and accountable management of Namibia's petroleum sector. It empowers the state to better oversee exploration and production activities. It ensures that decisions are made with technical competence, and it guarantees that Parliament continues to play its rightful oversight role. Through this reform, Namibia will strengthen its position as a credible and competitive petroleum jurisdiction, one that attracts responsible investment, safeguards environmental standards, and secures the maximum benefit for our citizens. Honorable Speaker, this bill is forward-looking. It reflects the maturity of our government institutions and our readiness to responsibly manage the opportunities that petroleum development brings. It aligns our national legislation with the imperatives of transparency, efficiency, and good governance. I therefore commend the Petroleum Exploration and Production Amendment Bill of 2005 to this Honorable House for consideration, debate, and adoption. And I thank you very much, honorable members, honorable speaker.
Yes, thank you. Honorable Ampanda, on what point would you like to raise?
The designated.
Speaker, I think through you must direct the secretary. So there is a bill that has been distributed to only some members of parliament. And I understand that the copies were only enough for one side. This thing should not happen. I'm talking.
That's a point of privilege.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's the question.
So please, next time, if you only have 5 copies, don't bring them to Parliament. Bring copies that are enough to everyone.
Okay.
Because this thing, we don't need to do this thing at the beginning of the year.
But
so, Secretary,
honorable member, or you have confirmed that?
I'm confirming as a matter of fact that there are members who are receiving the bill and there are members who are not receiving the bill. The answer to that question, listen, the answer to why it's not happening is because apparently there are not enough copies. I'm rising to say, fine, let's correct that, but next time, let's have enough bills and treat all members equally. Yes. It's not your fault. I don't understand why you're debating. You are not the one who's distributing.
Okay, thank you.
The fault is for whoever it is.
Very good. Okay. Yes. I will. Yeah. I will follow up to establish the facts and we will deal with that. Yeah, no, because I don't know anything. I'm not aware of documents. Also, you go to this side also. Yeah, okay, but I still have to establish. Maybe they are still coming in 5 minutes. I don't know. I can't answer because I don't know what is going on. I will establish, but I take note of what you said. If the documents are coming, they must be available for everyone so that people prepare for the debate. Now, we were supposed to break at 20 to 4. It's now is it 10 minutes to 4? And I propose that we break for 15 minutes and come back at 4:05. I have already announced. Okay. Please, let's take our seats. Yeah, now before we proceed with the business, I inquired about the distribution of the bill, the Petroleum Act Amendment Bill, and I was assured that the bill was distributed to all the members in the last session when the notice was given by the then acting minister, who is Honorable Kapofi, and that the bill was also today distributed to everyone on Telegram. And they are saying that some members specifically asked for hard copies, and those were the members that were given hard copies today. But I would like to say, honorable members, that we decided to go, is it online, paperless? We committed ourselves to go paperless. If we are going to say we have Telegram, but when we are not comfortable, we will ask for hard copies, we create this kind of situation that we create here. Because now some members see others getting hard copies and they are required to resort to Telegram. Can we please make use of Telegram? Yes, we have already committed. We have already committed. We have offices, honorable members. And political parties have party funding. We can use that to print. We have committed to go paperless. We cannot go back on that one. But the Honorable Ampada had posed the question, so he has the floor.
I think if, yeah, perhaps if we are, I would assume that when we came in this parliament, we were told about e-parliament. But e-parliament would mean a comprehensive undertaking. I've never seen an instrument that says this is e-parliament, these are the regulation and the framework related to e-parliament. If it's somewhere that exists, may be made available. Problem we're having is just consistency. We have an order paper that gets to be distributed. So it can't be half E and half. So if we are moving in that direction, so that it cannot be one bill, we are saying this, other bill, we are saying that. So Speaker, perhaps at an appropriate forum to have this conversation, we should get copy to that E framework, or what are we doing, so that we don't have the answers that you can't rely on, so that we, maybe at an appropriate forum. Because I'm not convinced that we will.
I think the Secretariat must organize themselves to make a proper presentation at the appropriate forum with the copies of whatever documents are available. That's point number one. Point number two, yes, as I have said, if we commit ourselves to a system, we must be consistent with it. Because I remember, even in the other parliament, we used to have the order paper via Telegram. So the inconsistencies, I think we all agree, is not yes. I remember I used to open mine there and the order paper was there and all of this. So we must get an update from the Secretariat in a written form in regard to what the status of this, what are the challenges, and if we then agree that we are going to go paperless and we need to provide maybe some kind of training to MPs, then we deal with all of that. But I just wanted to clarify this issue of today because I didn't know what was happening, to say that no, there was a distribution of physical copies to everyone, and that there was also a distribution of copies online today to everyone. But in addition to that, there were also other physical copies distributed today, which is what created confusion. It created confusion. Yes, Honorable?
These systems allows for us to be able to view everything on it. So I just want to also implore the Secretary that we start using these systems where we can view the bill on this information system that we require, and that we don't continuously every week print all the questions on a thick book. It's a waste of paper, so that we can start using the interactive systems that is paid for and supplied for. Thank you.
Very good. I think we have agreed on that principle. A presentation would be made so that we are comprehensive and consistent in our pursuit of the e-system, e-parliament. Very good. Now we return to the order paper. The minister had just finished motivating the amendment bill. Are there any further discussions? Yes, Honorable Venani.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank the Minister who has tabled this bill and to wish him well in his tenure as a new Minister of Mines, Energy and all those responsibilities given to him by the President of our Republic. Honorable Speaker, there is, as a footnote, there is a saying that there comes a time when the nation, when a civilization, a polity becomes much more greater than individuals. And when we are legislating, whatever we are legislating, we must ensure that the nation, the civilization, the polity in Namibia becomes or remains the central figure of our legislation. It's very difficult when we legislate to suit beings, personalities, to suit how we want to govern while I'm in office, rather than how the country will benefit more going forward. And we are probably at the legal tenterhooks in our legislation. First and foremost, let me start with the contradictions of the ruling party. The ruling party has changed faces of governance through the leaders that governs the country. And it goes without saying that every leader comes with a style of leadership and approach. But the fundamentals doesn't change very much. And this is the fundamentals that you are changing with this legislation. President Hage Geingob, may his soul rest in eternal peace, on the day of his demise, that I say this. President Hage Geingob, as a leader of this country, was very fond of saying something. He believed in systems, processes, and institutions. Coupled with that, he was very adamant, arguing that the culture of presidents, the culture of presidents directly involving themselves with investors is a wrong culture. Same side. You are changing it now and you are formalizing it and you are saying what President Hage Geingob was saying is wrong. In fact, now with what we want to do, the whole system must work. The investors, everybody should walk through the president. And that's the door that you are teaching us today. We are coming from a very bad experience where we warned against it and we legislated in the Marine Resource Act. I was standing on this floor of this house, right there, telling Saki Shangala, the road that you are taking us downstream. Today we have the biggest heist of our fish through fish road. We legislate power to ministers, individuals, as opposed to the country. Today, we are doing something modern. There is something modern about it. But you must remember, Master Minister, a new Minister of Mines and Energy, what we are doing, we are navigating waters that has never been done in the world. The only country that has done what we are trying to do is Russia, through South Skin in 2022, where the power of the upstream was given to the presidency. What has happened in Russia? What is happening in Russia with its oil, with oligarchs? We must be very, very careful. When you are modernizing a society, go with the people. Don't modernize to suit a leader. Netumbo Ndaitwa, President Netumbo Ndaitwa is an individual, like Henry Benani. She is also a human being. She will not be there forever. We can't legislate to suit the vision that she wants to espouse. We must legislate the vision the country must take. The country Namibia must take a frontier of not making the mistakes that other countries in the world has made with oil. What are we saying? When we are saying there is a need, the constitution of the country, under Article 41, amended one, the old one is 41, right. Under A, it's inter alia states, the members of the cabinet shall have the following functions: to direct, to coordinate, and supervise the activities of ministries and government departments, including parastatal enterprises, and to review and advise the President and the National Assembly on the desirability, listen very carefully, on the desirability and wisdom of any prevailing subordinate legislation, regulations, or orders pertaining to such parastatal enterprises regarding being had to be in public interest, quote unquote, public interest, underline. The very reason why we create a cabinet is for cabinet to be held accountable by this House. What we are doing with this legislation, we are giving the rights of the minister to the President. Why? You are only becoming a minister of energy by title, because the power of your minister will be bequeathed in the office of the President. Imagine if every day you come to this House, members of Parliament from the other side of the aisle, honorable colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, imagine if every day every minister comes and says, the power of the Education Ministry, we need to bequeath it to the President. The power of agriculture, we need to bequeath it to the President, because this is the modern way of running government. The principal architecture, the power of the medical doctor, to the President. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want you to listen to me very briefly. Through hindsight and experience, we need to hold a little bit and talk to each other, probably not on the floor of the House, so that we both sides find each other on where we want to go. But I tell you, when we are talking about oil, we are talking about a benefit or a curse, and a benefit that we must bequeath to current and future generations of our children. When you are being advised by experts, the oil experts can advise us on how best to run the oil. But the oil experts cannot tell me as a leader how best to legislate in the interest of current and future generations. That's our purview. And our purview should protect the interest of the country. Because we have seen what oil has done to countries. Go to Port Harcourt in Nigeria. Go see poverty amidst plenty and riches. So sometimes we don't want to open up too open to say what is our fears. But our fears is, fundamentally, let's not give the power that belongs to ministers to the President. The President doesn't need it. The President is the executive power of this country. She does not need a legislation to be an executive power of this country. The country has given her that power. Yesterday she said here, she stood here. All of us stood up because we recognize. Even us, I came back from her. Even us that competed with her, we give her the respect because she is the executive power, the embodiment of the sovereigns of this country. She does not need a legislation to have more powers. She has a system. The architecture of the system is embedded. You can't change the American system. Trump can come and do whatever he wants. The American system remains. Why is the Namibian system shaking? If Benani comes into power, the system changes. If this one comes to power, the system. Don't change the system. Let the system remain intact. Tell us what is wrong with the oil to be under the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Let's start there. What is wrong for the ministry to control the oil? And we are coming from a background rightly or wrongly. We have appointed someone that we want to appoint as a director general. Do you want us to go toe to toe? Does the person knows the oil industry? Can that person go to OPEC and go and articulate a Namibian position openly? Let's not go there. Right Honorable Prime Minister, before I say we object or we agree, I don't want us as legislators to object today or to agree, but I want us to talk to one another so that you do more work to convince us what is this route that you are taking. We are coming from a fish road route where we have given power. We have gone the NAMCO route. We are coming from routes that have taken birth, that have given birth to this country. So I am proposing we shouldn't be far apart with modernization, but we should not agree or disagree because our country needs each other. On this one, on the oil industry, on what must be achieved collectively, that should be a day that we say, as Namibians, we have done that right. But if we start pushing it the way that you want it, you have thought it, I don't even know whether these provisions, Honorable Swarwe, will pass the test of time of constitutionality. Because what it does, it negates powers of ministers and bequeath that power to the president. Just as the president cannot become a minister. Now she can become a minister through legislation. Because of what we are saying. So colleagues, por favor, take it slowly. Let's find each other, Right Honorable Prime Minister. Let's engage. Let's find a breather and see how best we can navigate this uncharted water. Because there's nothing in the world that has been done this way. There are many countries with oil. We are the only country that is chartering this route. The only other country is Russia. But Russia, everything is taken in Russia. Whoever gets it first becomes an oligarch. Do we want to create oligarchs? We don't want to push government. Neither do we want government to push us. We want to push our country going forward. And we must find each other. And my request is very simple. Let's find time so that we engage a little bit as legislators so that we find consensus and move the country forward. I thank you very much.
Honorable Nashinge.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Finally, this scary bill is officially here. And before I start proper with my submission, perhaps just to echo what Honorable Venani has said, that we have a country to take care of, a country that we must leave for the next generation to come in a good shape. We have seen what fish road did to this country. The fishing sector has a serious instability that we are failing to fix. We have seen Honorable Minister going there during the campaigns, taking the fishermen into the stadium to join the campaign, and then today we have a company that is sending 400-something Namibians into the streets. And here again, we want to start. Did we consult Namibians in all 14 regions, 121 constituencies, to hear what they want to, what their feeling is, and how they want us as a people of this country to manage this resource? Why are we moving too fast? The other time statements were made, this oil is not ours. We are really not in control yet we are fast to come up with a bill that is full of contradictions and all that. The Honorable Minister here in his presentation, he spoke about a certain minister going to be appointed to come and present the report of that unit. Once a year. You come, you are appointed to come and present something that you are not accountable for, nor the owner of. How are you going to account? How are we going to deal with that?
Just a messenger.
Fellow citizens, what is wrong with us? What is going on? Honorable Speaker, let me be unequivocal from this onset. The IPC supports Namibia becoming a petroleum-producing nation, 100%. The Venus and Mopane discoveries represent generational opportunities. We want first oil to flow. What we do not want to see is for the first oil to become first scandal in Southern Africa. We broke a record with our fish, and now we want to start again. The potential before us is enormous, with final investment decision expected to be expected by late 2026 and first oil projected around about 2029, 2030. We have less than 4 years to build the governance architecture that will determine whether petroleum becomes Namibia's blessing or its curse. Once agreements are signed and investments are committed, renegotiation becomes politically and legally costly. The time to build proper foundation is now, not after the concrete has set. We acknowledge the stated intent to modernize our governance framework, 100%. However, with immense potential comes a colossal responsibility to legislate with foresight. As we stand on the cusp of becoming a petroleum-producing nation, we have a unique one-time opportunity to learn from the lived experiences of our African brothers and sisters, to adapt their successes, and more crucially, to avoid the well-documented failures. We need to look only, we need not to look only to Nigeria and Ghana or Angola here. We have our own lessons from the fishing industry about what happens when oversight fails and agreements are made behind closed doors. And this is what I'm smelling. Our duty is not merely to pass a bill, but to build a legacy of transparent, accountable, and sustainable resource management for generations of Namibians. We have a constitutional concern, and that is when it comes to separation of power. Of course, what is being done right now, the president and her team has not broken the law, because that is the situation we have. Our president, it doesn't matter who, is given too many powers. And that's why you see these things are happening. But what we want to propose or suggest is that since now our first and most foundational concern is the constitutional principle of the separation of powers, the bill proposes a significant transfer of authority from a minister accountable to this parliament to the president and a new director general appointed by the president within the presidency. While framed as creating efficiency, this consolidation risks creating a regulatory monolith where technical oversight and political authority and commercial negotiation become a dangerous intertwined. Let us look at practical example from the continent. For decades, Nigeria's model of placing the oil sector directly under the presidential authority has been a textbook case of the resource curse. It nurtured a system where licensing and oversight were vulnerable to political interference and patronage, contributing to opacity, conflict, and the loss of investor confidence due to unpredictable decision-making. On the other hand, Africa offers us Ghana, a country that provides superior blueprint. Its Petroleum Revenue Management Act of 2011 mandates parliamentary ratification for all major petroleum agreements, a true foundation of democratic oversight. We propose a similar amendment. All petroleum exploration and production licenses and any significant amendments to fiscal terms must be subjected to review and ratification by the National Assembly. This is not a veto, this is investment protection. International investors want certainty that agreements will not be contested or reversed by future governments. Parliamentary ratification creates a bipartisan legitimacy that outlasts any single administration. This makes agreements more durable, not less. The establishment of the upstream petroleum unit is presented as a technical upgrade. However, its placement raises acute risk of bureaucratic confusion and coordination failures. This UPU must not operate in vacuum. It must interface seamlessly with the Ministry of Mines and Energy and on broader policy, the Ministry of Finance on fiscal matters, and the environmental regulators on ecological protection. The Nigerian experiences with multiple overlapping regulators demonstrated that poorly defined mandates lead to interagency rivalry, delayed approvals, and increased costs for both the state and investors. And I see we are having Director General and Deputy Director General. Already, one will be pulling that side, one will be pulling that side, and Namibians will be left in the dark and to continue with the suffering that we are going through already. We propose to the bill that the bill must be amended to include mandatory interministerial and interagency coordination protocols scheduled in the Act itself, clearly demarcating roles, requiring regular consultation, and mandating joint reporting to Parliament. The bill is conspicuously silent on local content requirements. Environmental impact assessment projects, approximately 7,000 jobs from the Venice development alone, but projected jobs not to the same as jobs for Namibians. Without enforceable local content provisions, specialized roles may be filled internationally while Namibians watch their resources extracted by foreign workers. We propose that an amendment requirement petroleum agreement to include binding targets for Namibians procurement, workforce development, and skills transfer with consequences management for non-compliance. Jobs must become local contracts, local suppliers, and skills transfer with deadlines, not just headlines. We also have NAMCOR, for example, which holds a standard 10% carried interest in major petroleum development and has announced intention to increase this to 20 to 30% in future projects. The fiscal liability is enormous. Ultra deep water development at 3,000 meters, among the deepest globally, requires technical expertise that few national oil companies possess. We ask that what is NAMCOR projected financial liability for its carried interest in Venus and Mopani? Has the ministry assessed whether NAMCOR has institutional capacity and expertise to effectively participate in this development? Silence on this question is not an answer, Honorable Amte. While the bill's requirement for asset declaration by this unit of officials are commendable, they are insufficient as standalone measures against corruption. Transparency must be proactive, not just internal. Ghana's most celebrated innovation in the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, an independent, citizen-led body composed of nominees from civil society, professional associations, traditional authorities, and academia, it independently monitors, audits, and publicly reports on all petroleum revenue inflows and expenditures with direct access to data and the authority to summon officials. So, for us, I think if the idea really is to take care of this resource and make sure that nothing funny happens, let's not come with half-cooked work here. Let us address all the possible challenges that may face the resource proper. Include everything, not just power in one office. What about everything? We propose that an amendment to establish a Namibian Public Resource Accountability Committee with similar independence and powers. This creates a powerful societal check on executive powers. That is going to help us quite a lot. And if that is taken into consideration, we will support, since we are being blamed on this side that we are not approving. When you know very well, you come here with bills 3 hours, you come here with bills that are not even properly cooked, and you expect us to agree and just rubber stamp. The bill's annual reporting requirements are a step forward, but they are insufficient. Namibians deserve to know the terms under which their resources are being extracted before production begins, not years after agreements are signed behind closed doors. We propose that any petroleum agreement intended into, renewed or materially amended shall be published in full within at least 30 days, excluding only genuinely proprietary technical data. Fiscal terms including royalty rates, profit or split, tax obligation, and any incentives or remissions must be disclosed to Parliament and the public. Transparency is the best defense against that disadvantaged Namibian. The oil case often manifests as fiscal extravagance, booming revenue leading to unsustainable spending, neglecting economic diversification, and crippling debt when prices fall. Ghana's PRMA provides a legally binding framework governing not just how much money comes in, but where it goes, mandating allocation to a stabilization fund to cushion budget shocks and heritage fund to save the future generation with strict parliamentary caps on spending. While Namibia has established the Welwitschia Sovereign Wealth Fund, this bill is a missed opportunity to enshrine stronger non-discretionary fiscal rules. We propose an amendment mandating a minimum percentage of petroleum revenues to be directed to the Welwitschia Fund before budgetary allocation, insulating saving from annual political pressures. To crystallize our position, the IPC proposed the following amendments to the bill. Am I protected?
Yes, Honorable Member, you are protected. Yes, he's protected. Please, can we listen to one another? Proceed, Honorable
Yeah, just call her to order.
Yes. No, they have promised that they are not going to.
I'm not an age mate. Amendment 1, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, we propose that we insert a new clause notwithstanding any powers conferred to the upstream petroleum unit or the president, the grant, renewal, or material variation of any petroleum agreement shall be subjected to ratification by 2/3 majority of the National Assembly. Second, insert a new schedule.
I'm told that somebody somewhere needs to check what they are doing. I know that we have been working very hard, but we are only allowed to water for nourishment. Only water for nourishment, nothing else inside the chamber. Yes, proceed, Honorable Member.
They are eating fish, what is it? Yeah. Second amendment, we suggest, Honorable Minister, that we insert a new schedule, a coordination protocol between the upstream petroleum unit, the Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism shall be developed within 6 months at least from now on of this Act's commencement and tabled in Parliament. 3, insert a new part establishing the Namibian Public Resource Accountability Committee, detailing its independent composition from civil society, professional associations, traditional authorities, and academia with data access rights, audit powers, and reporting obligation to Parliament. 4, amend the reporting provision to require any petroleum agreement entered into, renewed, or materially amended shall be published within a specified period of time, including fiscal terms, royalty rates, profit, oil splits, tax obligations, and incentives or remissions granted. 5, insert a new part, local content requirements, mandating that petroleum agreements include binding targets for Namibian procurement, employment, workforce development, and skills transfer, with annual reporting on compliance and consequences for failure to meet targets. 6, insert clause requiring that a minimum of X percentage of petroleum revenues be directed to the Welwitschia Sovereign Wealth Fund before budgetary allocations, with withdrawal restrictions and parliamentary approval of any variation. Let's not go at night, we are busy taking out the money later on. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, we are not simply debating on technical adjustment to a 1991 law. We are architecting the foundation of Namibia's future. We can choose a path of centralized control, which has led to diminished accountability elsewhere, or we can choose a Namibia path of innovative, transparent, and democratic governance. Let us build a legacy and not just pass the bill, because we are in competition of passing bills. Let us learn from our brothers in Nigeria, hardship, and Ghana's innovation. Let us build a system where technical expertise.
Honorable, your mic is off now. The time is up. No, Honorable Member, we still have committee stage. You will have the opportunity. The time is up now. No, the mic went off now automatically. It goes off now. No. Honorable, can I just say something to you? Just take your seat, then I will sit. No, I was reminding you, but what I want to say, Honorable Member, is this. I saw that you came up with a number of proposals. Now, some of those proposals are committee stage proposals. So I'm saying this to just advise the MPs who are going to take the floor now, in order to fit your statement within the time that is allocated, focus on the general debate issues. The specifics, you can just refer to them by passing, and then you elaborate on them when we go to committee stage. Yeah. So, Honorable Member, you still have the opportunity during committee stage to bring your specific proposals that you want to bring. No, committee stage. Yeah. No, you have your time, that time. Now, Honorable Ampanda.
Speaker, this bill would be the actual test of the 8th Parliament. Article 35 of the Namibian Constitution says that the cabinet will be composed of ministers and deputy ministers from the National Assembly. Yeah? That's when Article 41 comes now to talk about ministerial accountabilities, because there is an understanding that those ministers are actually from the National Assembly. The Minister of Oil and Gas, the real Minister of Oil and Gas, is up here somewhere sitting, working. He's just waiting for you to finish this thing. For the first time in the history of Namibia, we are going to have actually a Minister of Oil and Gas who's not in the National Assembly. So there is a standing invitation, Speaker, by Honorable Venani to the Prime Minister in terms of conversation of how we want to find each other and share opinions and views. Now, the dilemma I have is that us, as members of Parliament representing the affirmative repositioning, we also want to agree with such an engagement because of the seriousness of the matter. But the challenge I have is that such a platform may not necessarily be provided for by the rules, but it can happen if the leader of government business wants to have such type of engagement. Now, in the absence of such platform made available by the rules, I have no choice but just to postpone the debate to the 18th of February 2026 for my informed contribution. Thank you.
To propose an adjournment of the debate to the what?
18th of February,
Okay.
Wednesday, 18th February.
Yeah, okay. Now, thank you, Honorable Ampanda. First, I would like to say two things. First, it is possible to workshop a bill outside of a sitting. And because it's outside of a sitting, it's not in the rules. So it doesn't have to be in the rules. So when we are meeting that time, we will not be in a sitting, it's just a workshop. And then we can have technical presentation, we can ask questions, we can debate. And then when we come here now in the sitting, we can now include whatever in our statements, or when committee stage come, we can then make proposals. That's first and foremost. Secondly, next time, it will be nice if you want to raise a point like that one, you raise maybe on a point of privilege, because the rule of the House is you can't comment and defer. You can't comment on an issue and then defer the debate. If you want to defer, you just defer, and then you raise it at that time. But because I can see you were not familiar with that, I allow that. Yes, yes. So next time, because, yeah. But having said that, yes, do you?
The Deputy Speaker took us to school on that matter. He always had arguments with me on that. That's actually how I condensed myself. I started my intervention to say there is something on the floor, and you have done well by articulating that it is possible even if it's not. My intervention was actually just there to consolidate
So
that.
it was a point of privilege.
Yes, yes, to consolidate that view that there is this invitation. It makes sense. Maybe we can find each other, and you made it easier that, no, it can actually be done. So that's why I went to qualify that. Since it's not appearing on the rules, I cannot risk hoping for some imaginary engagement, but let me rather postpone. But I appreciate that at least it places me at ease. Then we can navigate and see, hopefully, if the workshop is before the 18th or whatever it is. But I also don't want to just hope and then you are out of the order paper.
Yeah, no, okay, fine. I think the Prime Minister would explain when is it the Minister of Industries would explain what the date of the workshop is, you know, at the appropriate time. Yeah, he can explain that one. But, no, but we cannot discuss in the middle of a debate. We are discussing a bill. We can't be discussing a date for a workshop. And part of the reason why I rule the way that I rule is because, Honorable Ampanda, the reason why I rule the way I rule is when you suggested the deferment, because you cannot defer the discussion on a point of order or point of privilege. So I thought you were taking a flaw. But I think that's water under the bridge. I have just explained to say this is the procedure. Now, having said that, the PM would explain the arrangements for the workshop later. Now, I need to put the question. There is a proposal made by Honorable Ampanda to adjourn the debate on the Petroleum Act Amendment Bill to the 18th. Yes, Honorable. That's the maybe point of privilege.
Point of privilege. My apologies. Thank you. The recess was quite long, and we won an overwhelming majority during the election, so it's a bit overwhelming. It's a bit overwhelming. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Maybe I just need to understand, Honorable Speaker. I'm hearing there is a workshop. I'm hearing there is a workshop to be held on a tabled bill. I'm trying to grasp that this workshop, is it by virtue of the National Assembly, or is it a private proposal to the minister who tabled the bill? Where does the Prime Minister come into this issue? I just want to understand, because my understanding is that when the executive proposes issues to be discussed by Parliament, this is where we unpack the issues, this is where we debate them, we discuss them, section by section, even when we go to committee stage. And now there is an outside activity being proposed, and by the sounds from what I'm hearing from Speaker, it seems to be decided. So I just want to be guided what that means, and what we discuss here on the floor, whether or not it's now subject to this so-called workshop that is going to be organized. I just want the indulgence before I actually come up around the question you asked lastly, Honorable Speaker, about when the discussion of this bill is to be deferred to. But maybe I just wanted to better understand, because this is the first time I'm hearing about it in terms of a tabled bill that is already on the floor of Parliament being discussed by the entire Parliament, so on National Assembly. Maybe, Speaker, you can just help me in that regard. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. No, honorable members, you see, whatever is discussed outside of Parliament, whatever is discussed in here during a debate is not subject to anything else that happens outside. Whatever happens outside is just a platform to explain. So there would be no amendments to the bill outside, but I would be advised really whether there is any violation, which I don't think there is, to just explain. And then, honorable members, can I be heard now? Now, just to explain, and now if after an explanation, a member have their reservations, they come and make their reservation here. Or they can share the reservation there just to explain their views. And maybe then the other person, even when you come here with your, how much? 15 minutes, at least the person is able to contextualize. That's really what I thought. I don't think there is anything wrong with that. But please, let's not take it to be a negotiation out there. It's just to explain. Because this is a very, very important bill, and we want to pass it as soon as possible, because also to have a vacuum in the legal system of the country is also not good, because it creates a problem. People who want to make investments in Namibia cannot make investments in this very important area because they don't have certainty. Yeah, Honorable, that is an issue for debate. You ask for the floor and you express your concern. No, Honorable. Yeah. So now, the next, I have a list here. Yeah. No. Honorable members, 1 minute.
The Honorable Minister of MICT, but Honorable Speaker, I rise on a point of privilege, and I want to say, Honorable Speaker, when the Honorable McHenry Venani asked or invited the Prime Minister for a platform for these members of this House to engage on this proposed amendment, it is done so in the spirit of consensus building. Yesterday, it was only yesterday, Honorable Speaker, that the President came to this House and said we must act in the interest of Namibians, and we must put aside partisan politics, isn't it? So what we are doing now is we are asking for a platform to understand the intention of this bill and the amendments that are being proposed. So the honourable member, who is the Minister of MICT, please entirely out of order and must actually withdraw that statement. Please, out of respect for all the Namibian people that we are representing here. Yeah.
Honorable members, I have already made the ruling on the issue. One cannot rise on a point of privilege when an issue has already been resolved. You see, that issue is outside of the sitting. It's arranged separately. Can we proceed, please? Honorable Lucato.
Thank you very much for the floor. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, now Honorable Lucato.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the floor. I just want, according to my diary here, I was also humble requested postponed this bill to the 17th, since my relative, Honorable Ampanda, also suggested postponed to the 18th. So the bill should be postponed.
You second?
To the, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable members, I have a list of MPs here. Honorable Emmanuel Wise, Honorable Nashinge spoke already, Honorable Hengombe, Honorable Swartboy. So now I want to ask, do this honorable member want to speak on the bill, ne? Because they must first speak before we can consider any request for deferment. Yeah, okay. Now I give the floor to Honorable Emmanuel.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to convey my best wishes for the year to all members of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, I take the floor to crisply contribute to this bill. And as I do so, I want to look everybody into their eyes. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker,
Honorable members, you see, I cannot hear the members speak because there is too much talking around the chamber. So if you can please just tone it down, then I'll be able to hear the members.
Yeah, and Honorable Speaker, I must indicate that I listened to everybody and I respected their views. So I don't interrupt anybody, and I don't think anyone would want to wish me in that space. But, Honorable Speaker, what I want to indicate is that this bill that is before us speaks to the core of our existence as a nation. Insofar as that it speaks to the strategic national asset of this country, upon which the developmental agenda and the trajectory is dependent. We can have views and contribute in a manner that seek to show us some direction insofar as the bill is concerned. But we should speak to the fact that when we speak of oil and gas, you know, the upstream petroleum thereof, you know, it determines the state revenue, it determines the foreign exchange earning, it determines the energy security, and it determines the geopolitical leverage. These things we should understand. Can you keep quiet? Yes, can you keep quiet? Yes. You expect people to respect you when you speak. No, this, you should come here and listen to other members.
Honorable members, can you hear the honorable member out?
No. Nashinge.
Okay,
Nashinge.
honorable member.
Nashinge, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable member.
This member need to be cautioned.
Honorable member, what is that? Can I call everyone to order?
Other members. Yeah, we must respect other members here on the floor and outside here. Yes.
Okay.
Honorable
We
Speaker,
come back to the bill, please.
I was on the edge of saying. I was on the edge of saying just before the direct exchange with my very own brother in Nashinge that oil and gas industry, Honorable Speaker, determine the geopolitical leverage. And as we debate this specific bill, we must do it in that context. It's also important, Honorable Speaker, that there are a number of countries that have oil and gas under the direct control of the presidency in terms of the policy determination. So, Equatorial Guinea is one of them, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members.
Saudi Arabia is another, Honorable Speaker. Can I please finish speaking?
Yes, please.
So in the list, out of the list, Honorable Speaker, of countries that have oil and gas under the control of the presidency, we do have success stories as we have failed stories. And it's important that as we speak here, we contextualize and we speak on the basis of data, so that we convince one another. It's not just a mere, case of making a theoretical submission, but there must be data that tells us as to what lies in there for us and what is that we need to do. And in actual fact, if you look at George, I don't want to throw this to you.
There are three people now on the floor. Okay, honorable members, can I say this to you? Honorable members.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable member, can I just say something? Can you take a seat just for 1 second? Yes, honorable members, the rules are saying when there is a member on the floor, yeah, the House must allow that member to speak without interruption. And if there are going to be any interruptions at all, they must be minimized. That's one. Two, it also says when a member is on the floor, the other members can't be having a conversation. If there is something that requires that the two MPs make, I'm ruling, they must somehow consult. They must do so in a low tone, such that they don't disrupt the proceedings of the House. But now we think it's our entitlement to interrupt each other and to speak when the other person is on the floor. But now that creates a problem because even the people outside can no longer hear what we are saying here. And the presiding officer cannot hear what the member that is on the floor is saying so as to be able to make a ruling. So can we please minimize the interjections and the speaking from the sitting position? Please, yeah. Both sides and all the, on a lighter note, comments, let's also tone them down because they just create unnecessary problems. Yeah, but he must first say something because it must be a point of order based on what he's saying. Yes, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that protection, because if you don't provide that protection for us, we will protect ourselves. And I think this message needs to go across, each and every
Yes,
one of
point
us.
of order now, Honorable Wise.
Yeah, so I think your last comment might assist in the point of order that I want to raise. I don't know if the minister said that he wants to throw a bottle to one of the members. I'm a party leader. And naturally, if any of our members are hurt, I will be the first one to receive that throwing. Was it a lighter note, or was it a lighter? It's a threat that is going to do it. So if it's a lighter note, fine, I can sit. But maybe you need to deal with that, because if it happens, yes, because I don't have specs. Wise have specs. So if I throw it, to break his specs. So maybe if it's on the lighter note, then it's fine.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it wouldn't be appropriate for the member to say that, honorable member, if you said it on a lighter note, can you just withdraw it? No.
Honorable Speaker, I speak English.
Wait.
Honorable Kambala was throwing words to me. And I said to him, I have never mentioned that I'm going to throw a bottle to him. I never said that. And I think it can be replayed. I said, I don't want to throw this to him.
So you are saying you didn't say that?
No, Honorable Speaker, I don't want to, what I meant is I don't want to throw words that he's throwing to me back to him. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so
yes.
Honorable members,
So
okay,
when I'm
I have
speaking
ruled there.
here, Honorable Speaker, maybe it's because my hand is on the bottle.
Honorable member.
So,
Honorable member.
What I meant, Honorable Speaker, is that I don't want to throw, the unceremonial words that Comrade Kambala is throwing to me.
Honorable member, can you just withdraw that one? Just withdraw the part there. I don't want to throw it.
Honorable Speaker, when am I withdrawing? Okay, Honorable Kambala, I do not want to throw the unceremonial words back to you. I withdraw that.
On what point are you raising, Honorable Kambala?
You must raise it.
Speaker, you see, it's we understand that you understand.
Yes, honorable members. Yes, half a minute, please. No, but half a minute, please. Let's get past this issue. Yeah, let's get past it.
Yes, Speaker, see, the issue here is that Honorable Wise is trying to play gymnastics with the English.
Yeah,
language.
okay. Also, let's not to just go there. Let's just
no,
be straight.
I must, because he just said that I threw words at him and he did not. I said that, Mr. Wise, if you are talking about facts, please provide the facts that you are talking about.
The what?
And then he said that he was talking with the bottle. Now,
he said what?
He was talking with the bottle. He said,
okay,
we can go on the thing. But
okay, then I will establish that.
Yeah, no, we can. Let me also finish as well to conclude. Speaker, constantly when we are interjecting here, you always go out of order. But the Honorable Lucia there.
Honorable, now you are out of order. You are now out of order.
Constantly do it.
No. You are out of order.
So I'm willing to be fair to your judgment.
No, honorable member, you are out. Now you can't refuse to leave the floor. You want me to listen to you?
Don't mind. You might not be able to do that through a ministry. You need to take a different course. So if we want our resources to benefit our people, we need to locate it at the highest level. There's sentiments here that we need to go back to the people and ask the people whether they want the oil and gas be put in the presidency or in a ministry.
The recent past says were 2 elections. We went to the people. And the people get a response. They gave a response by trusting a party to say, you govern on our behalf. I thank you.
Yes. Honorable Swartboy, you are next on the line.
Time is up.
We have only 2 minutes.
You are not prepared to defend.
I
will not be here.
We write because you can't finish your intervention.
Yeah, I will not finish.
Okay. So we go to the next item then. For today, on the order paper.
I think there's
No, it's now 1 minute to. What is actually the time? The clock is skewed, Secretariat. Eh? Do you look at it? 17:41. So we have 4 minutes, but the clocks are skewed on the wall there. I don't know. Yeah. So, yes. You can finish in 4 minutes. Oh, okay, then. But I moved already. Yeah, no, honorable members, I can't do that. What I will do is we will now just rise on automatic adjournment. The Honorable Swartboy will be here tomorrow on time to make sure that he's one of the first. Or, Honorable, I know for sure you won't finish within that time, unless if you agree to just move to adjourn this debate to tomorrow. Then you can come and make your statement. No, who says that? Okay, then we rise on automatic adjournment. The House rises until tomorrow at 12 and 20. 14 hours later.
This is NBC1. It's ours.
Need a cool drink? Want some?